Why no one plays League of Legends? See, the thing is that my YouTube homepage got me a little bit confused because as far as I'm concerned, I got 2 videos. One is saying why no one plays League of Legends. Other one, League of Legends made everyone happy. How does that work? I have no idea. So let's go with the first one.
22, writer Corey Ephraim Doctorow made a blog post in which he coined a most peculiar yet interesting word, enshittification.
So that's going to be, yeah, that's the term I saw for the first time in my life, last stream, last night, on the subject, you're not gonna believe it yet, League of fucking Legends. So I guess that makes sense, you know? So what is enshittification?
Though it may initially sound like a meme word you'd find on Twitter, he then went on to further elaborate on the concept. In simple terms, enshittification is the process by which a platform or service's quality begins to degrade over time, primarily with the intent to maximize profit. Thus,
yep, I'll be paraphrasing, but basically I feel like it's Steve Jobs who said it. Whenever there is a money people running the company instead of the product people, the customer service, the customers are the ones who are suffering. I feel like that's the situation we have in League of Legends, bro. As far as I'm concerned, I want to say 3 weeks, more than 3 weeks, clean from League of Legends. It started to look at things objectively, right? And one of the things is that, bro, that's not the game I fell in love with. So what happened? And eventually I realized that, bro, something is happening within Rita Games where definitely money people are fighting with the product people. Because now and then we are getting a good product from League of Legends, but majority of bullshit we get is because of the money people. So let's see.
causing an eventual loss in service. This is most pronounced when a service or product not
Prime example, you know what, I know it, everyone knows it. They money milking hard, yep. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, League of Legends is in the state where it's like a YouTuber who knows that his career is finished, so he's milking the most loyal, the most hardcore fans by giving them a fucking NFT or a crypto scam. That's how the whole League of Legends situation feels like.
Not only begins to get more expensive, but in some cases it becomes close to inaccessible without first meeting a paywall, a free-to-play game becoming pay-to-win, or something to that effect. Such an occurrence may sound familiar to many of us. It appears to have been happening to League of Legends over the past few years. When I first began producing content for a living, arguably my most recognizable videos have been Why No One Plays, the flagship series not just for Vars 1 but for Vars 2 and Vars 3 as well. It's what allowed me to stand out over existing creators at the time, and a series I very much enjoy looking into. On multiple occasions, I would get comments joking about how with the number of Why No One Plays episodes I have, I should just make a Why No One Plays video for the game as a whole.
Perfect call, not gonna lie. This is straight up the best decision, because as far as I'm concerned, one of the things that has been bothering me with League for quite some time now is that they went the Blizzard route and they pulled their public stats. Because when Blizzard started losing players in World of Warcraft, the stats of monthly active users was public. When they started losing those numbers, when those numbers started dropping, when players were quitting the game, Blizzard pulled a sneaky move where they just stopped publishing those stats. So that way, you don't know if the game is shit. You'll still be, if you got hooked on it, you're still playing in it, right? You're not following the masses. So that's what League of Legends is doing. Couple of years ago, I want to say like maybe 5 or 6 years ago, they pulled, no, JK. What year do we have? 2025, yeah. I feel like it was a couple of years ago when they pulled the public stats. Like, we knew the amount of players who were actively playing, right? We had the monthly users. Naturally, majority of them were based in China, are still based in China, because as far as I'm concerned, League is owned by Rito is owned by Tencent. Tencent is a Chinese fucking conglomerate, right? As far as I'm concerned, it's a Chinese game. So naturally, the majority of the player base is coming from China. So there's that. But still, the fact remains that they are not showing the numbers, right? And granted, with that majority of player base being Chinese, there is still a huge part of that number that are bots that no one is talking about. Because it is being counted as an active number. Sure, that account is being played on, but is it a human being playing, or is it a bot running a script and leveling up the account to get sold? That's the question. So anyway, that's step one of what's happening with League, pulling out the public stats. So, on the subject of why no one plays this game, this could be a good intro, this could be a good start.
Obviously those remarks are made in jest, but I always entertained the thought of making one, maybe as an April Fool's video or just making it as a meme. Never did I imagine I would have to make one unironically. To be fair, League is still an incredibly popular—
There it is. There it is, there it is, there it is. And these are... But I don't think these are official stats. Monthly active users. So as I said, majority of them are from China. A good chunk of them are bots. And the number started going downhill. Afterwards, we don't see that public information. That's the same route Blizzard did.
Game and likely will continue to be the #1 mobile title for years to come. Like with all Why No One Plays videos, the title is not meant to be taken literally. A more accurate one would be why people are quitting League, but I figure I can use a bit of creative licensing to have a somewhat catchy title. And
yeah, as far as I'm concerned, you can clickbait me as much as you want, as long as I'm being clickbaited into a good video. Given how that's sparse, I have no doubt that's a good video.
In any case, while I could have made this video a month ago, doubtless many of you have been made aware of the growing disdain the community has had towards League, far more than the usual toxicity. A substantial number of players, casual and competitive, have been expressing less interest in playing the game as a result of a series of company decisions that have led to the gradual degradation of the game.
I wouldn't call it company decisions, I would call them corporate decisions. Because company consists of artists and product people who are interested in the game, who want to see the game succeed. Corporate, well, they're just corporate. The only thing that they're focused on is the money. So I feel like these guys are piloting the fucking ship right now.
Game's experience. That's what this video is going to be about. I wanted to share my own candid thoughts on the matter, as someone who's been playing the game for a decade now, and also as someone who quite literally built
rookie numbers, my friend. Rookie numbers!
A living from talking about this game, among several others. I have never been shy with voicing criticism towards Riot for their champion designs in the past, but I've always tried to look at things from both perspectives, and to try to take them in as good faith as I possibly could. No such concession will be given here. As much as League has become an integral part of my livelihood, I, like many of you watching, am beginning to exhaust what little patience and goodwill I have with the company, and if restitutional change.
When it comes down to running out of patience with League of Legends, I mean, a healthy choice. Straight up a healthy choice. I highly recommend is taking a break. Given how we're all addicts, because this game is basically an addiction. This game is straight up addiction incorporated. Tell me what you want, but it is what it is, right? So, I know that I'll be back to League. Chat, you know I'll be back to League. The matter of question is, when? So, before that happens, one of the healthiest solutions is that take a break. Bro, I've been clean 3 weeks. Never felt better. Still never felt better.
Changes and made within the near future to amend their mistakes.
Did you see the petition to fire the CEO of Riot on the petition.org? It reached 50k signatures. 50k signatures ain't shit. But the 50k signatures ain't shit when it comes down to Riot and League of Legends. Like, bro, we just saw the numbers. We're talking about 100+ millions of active users, right? So that's lower. The 50k is like what? 0.001% or 0.01%. I mean, I suck at math, you know it, I know it, everyone knows it. But my point being, 50k to 100+ millions is nothing. It's like a drop in a fucking sea.
I see no reason to continue giving exposure to it.
The petition didn't reach all the players though, and it will never will reach all of the players. Because as I said previously, majority of the players are coming from Asia, especially China. Well, granted, South Korea and China, those are the largest regions when it comes down to League of Legends. In China, good luck getting through their fucking firewalls. Like, as far as I'm concerned, they're using a different kind of internet than we are. We live on different planets. This petition will never reach them. And if you don't have... Well, I don't want to say majority, but close to majority, at least close to half of voices, you will not be heard.
A game that dishonors the very player base that made League of Legends what it is today. To start, many of you might recall the ambitious announcements being made that 2023 would be the biggest budget of all time for League, and that 2024 would be even bigger. Initially, players were excited to hear the news, believing the working capital would be used to invest into the game, perhaps
yeah, so that was a lie.
Improve the game's embarrassingly poor client, or maybe, as a pipe dream,
Yeah. Speaking of client chat, what's the situation with Riot Client right now? I haven't touched the game in a month, but did they make a new client? Sadly, no. Fucking classic.
A big expansion to the game, possibly League of Legends 2. Theories came about on what that would be used.
Remember the Riot employee who got clapped by the junglers, so he nerfed the jungle, or got flamed, so he removed the pings and chat? Who got clapped by junglers? I feel like that was Riot Freak. And the ping situation, I'm still gonna sound like Twitter snowflake, but I'm still triggered by the fucking idea that the person who is the head of development in League of Legends at Riot Games, right, doesn't know his own fucking product. Dog, he was playing courtesy ADC, he was 0 and 8. Instead of using the systems that are in the game that would mute other pings, right? He went with the ballsy option of removing pings overall. Same shit happened to chat. That's one of the reasons I'm still salty at League of Legends. Dog, they removed chat. They removed fucking freedom of speech. Even though there are language filters enabled by default. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I'm the type of person who wants to experience a less family-friendly version of the game. That's why I'm going out of my way into the fucking settings, trying to find that fucking bullshit breaking my legs on the way, right? Disabling it, and then I'm calling Timo a midget, because he's small, he's a midget. Then, my account is banned for 5 fucking years. Then, other game, other account, different scenario. I am playing first timing Lee Sin jungle, I'm going 0 and 10. My team deserves to call me dog shit. I have those settings disabled, all good. No, call me dog shit, because definitely I'm 0-10 Lee Sin, I am dog shit, I deserve to be called dog shit. And vice versa. If my top Garen goes fucking full attack speed and he's 0-15, he deserves to be called dog shit. Granted, if he has a language filter disabled, he will see the message. He will get the message. He will know how we feel about him. But if he didn't fuck with the settings and he's playing by default rules of how everything is already done, right? He didn't touch the settings, he didn't disable language filter, he will not see shit. He will not see shit. Because it's already disabled. So, why are we getting chat restricted? For nothing! I still have no idea.
4. And just as we were entering 2024 and getting ready to see what they would do, in January, the very start, the company laid off over 500 employees, roughly 11% of their entire working body.
Well, that's how you maximize the profits. Straight up, that's how you maximize the fucking profits. If you don't need to pay, if you have no expenses, the only thing you have are the profits. Duh.
To give credit where it's due, they at least had the decency to offer possibly one of the most gratuitous severance packages I've ever seen, so they made sure to spare no expense in softening the blow. But what caused most of it to be disregarded is how unexpected the layoffs in question were in light of the 2024 budget announcement that came before. While this certainly was a foreboding look for the year going forward, to an extent it did not affect the experience of the game for most players. Not immediately anyway. Around the same time, a decision was made to discontinue Riot Forge, a publishing label that was responsible for making spin-off games like Ruined King, Mageseeker, Convergence, Song of Nunu, and Bandletale, games that served to expand more on the mythos of League's universe and to widen the scope of the League of Legends brand. A noteworthy shutdown to point out, but that only captured a small portion of the overall player base's interest. It wasn't until midway through the year that the community at large would bear witness to the game's enshittification. During spring of last year, an extremely controversial decision was made to release a special legacy skin commemorating Faker's inclusion in the Hall of Fame. The immortalized...
The best part about this fucking $500 skin is that Faker wasn't even using it. The whole purpose of the skin was to glamorize and praise Faker. My guy didn't even use the skin. He said, fuck it, I don't give a fuck about the skins. Just another part of Riot playing the fucking corporate game.
Legend Ahri, the supposed prestige edition of the Risen Legendary skin. While certainly a very elegant design paying homage to the greatest League of Legends player to ever exist, obtaining the skin in-game is where backlash began to erupt. Unlike most other skins, you couldn't just go into the shop and buy them for $10 to $25 and call it a day. You had to buy a special package containing a multitude of items, including the skin. How much did it cost? 3,000 RP? Nope. 5,000? Not even close. To acquire the premium Faker Ahri skin, you would have to spend 59,200.
It would be funny if Faker would insult the skin for being so expensive. I'm going on a limit here, but as far as I'm concerned, when it comes down to these type of skins, the professionals who are winning the worlds, right? They are getting the that year's their team skins. So we have SKTZ, SKT Silver, etc, etc. The percentage of the revenue made from those skins goes directly to the players. Plus, given how corporate Rito is, there's a infinitely high probability that these players had to sign NDA of classic sponsorship where you are not allowed to talk shit about the product you're selling, even though the product might be dog shit, horrible, not working, bugged, or priced at a disgusting price. So, you know, there's that.
160 riot points. How much is that? Equivalent to around $500 USD, considering
I'm still fucking bewildered about this price. Like, dog, I had cars 3 times cheaper than this. Cars. Running cars. Like, dog, I was traveling distances on those cars. Huge distances. Not Texas-sized distances because it would break down in the middle of it, but still. Still. The real actual thing in real fucking life instead of the pixels on a screen.
the most expensive skins to come out for purchase were 3250 RP, that is over 18 times more expensive. Acquiring just the Immortalized Legendary skin without Faker signatures would cost around 30,000 RP or $250. But even that was beyond absurd to remotely consider. Skins are extremely marketable commodities in League, evidenced by how much revenue they generated from skin sales over the years, but much of that had to do with the affordability of the skins. An epic skin would cost $10, a reasonable amount to spend on something that you would see being used all throughout your time in League. Even legendary skins were in the realm of acceptable, especially considering the quality of animations and new voice lines. Ultimate skins,
yeah, and we're not talking about the basic animations, we're talking about the newly adjusted animations. Especially the fucking recall animations. They straight up the champions on these skins would get a new, borderline fucking brand new animations. That shit was amazing. Pool Party Renekton. Fight me, but Pool Party Renekton has the best recall in the entire game. And it comes down from a legendary skin that's priced at $10.
at least some of the older ones like Elementalist Lux, were a more premium purchase that not many would be too inclined to splurge on, but those who did definitely got their money's worth.
Arf Warwick wins. No. Not even close, baby. Not even close. When it comes down to best skins, it is slightly better skin than Renekton, granted, but recall. I'm talking only specifically about recall. But when we're talking about the best skins, there is only one best skin, KD Gragas. Granted, that's an amazing skin, but there is one skin that is straight up best, straight up peak. We have F tier, we have C tier, we have B tier, we have A tier, right? We have S tier, and then we have the godlike tier. There's only one skin in their chat. Try guessing what skin is that? Devil Teemo, fuck no. Omega Squad Teemo, fuck no. Voice lines, yes, on that level, but we're talking about the skin overall. I stand with Star Guardian Urgot. S tier, but not godlike tier. No, there is only one skin in the godlike tier. God, which one is it? Shifu skin? No, sadly, that's going to be a Devil Teemo Purple Chroma. That's the Shifu skin. And no, also not godlike. But it is one of my main champions. Vietnam Teemo. No, not Vietnam Teemo. I'll give you a hint. It's green. Morgana? No. Bro, I'm not even playing Morgana. What you on about? Well, granted, I did play Morgana. Rammus is not green. But I see how green King Rammus could make sense. Malphite. Getting there. What skin? Where's skin? Shamrock Malphite. There it is. There it is. Thank you. Now that is the one and only skin that's above them all. You know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. No other skin comes fucking close to it.
Worth. All these skins were then also made potentially obtainable through the Hextech crafting system, so there was always an opportunity to get them entirely for free if you were lucky enough. The Faker Ari skin though not only was unobtainable through free-to-play means, but it featured a price tag 18 times more expensive than the most expensive skin money could buy prior to that point. Even $50 would have been a hard pill for most players to swallow, let alone $500. And while I've always been a proponent of spending money on hobbies you enjoy, especially a hobby that
you know me. My eyes in these clips, when it comes down to League of Legends content, my eyes instantly go towards one thing. The chat. Yep, not this. Okay, yeah, I'll need to change that screen in there. I'll need to fix it. Do you see that message, right? Do we all see that message from Darius? Like the top lane to top lane communication is peak.
And while I've always been a proponent of spending money on hobbies you enjoy, especially a hobby that provides hundreds of hours of entertainment like video games, there's an objective line between a price willing to pay for entertainment and blatant price gouging. This was unequivocally the latter. The backlash was so visceral, players colloquially agreed to disallow Ahri being played by anyone to voice their dissatisfaction towards Riot for this.
Yeah, but let's be real, let's be fucking objective. Let's be fucking objective. When it comes down to League of Legends and coming together as a community, we all suck big fat dick. Let's start banning Ahri. Good, good. How long did that last? 2 days? 3 days? Right? The sales went through the roof. Rito said fuck you to all of us. Doubled the time period on that skin sale. There's that. Then we had a second scenario of let's boycott Rito for 1 day. Dog, what fuck you mean 1 day? Fuck you mean 1 day? They took away our Hextech chest. Oh no! Rito, how could you? We will not play your game for a day. A day? Like, bro, grow some balls. Have a spine. Don't play it for a fucking month, at least a month. And then the best part is when Rito came back with the straight up professional gaslighter manipulator strategy. They took it away. They saw the outrage. They didn't give a fuck about the outrage. All they cared about was damage control, right? The public perception. Then they come back and they say, no guys, we're sorry, we're good. Here, we bring back the Hextech chests. Nothing changed. Except for the fact that definitely they did what I proposed initially one of my previous commentaries, where I said, bro, instead of blatantly stealing Hextech, just taking them away, dog, just on the back end, lower the fucking numbers. You control that gamba. So adjust the numbers. Instead of having 10% on skin drop, make it 5%, make it 2%. Because in that video where they said they are removing the Hextech chest, they specifically said, if we have these chests in the game, the business model is unsustainable. So do you really think a corporate billion-dollar company would just casually bring back the chests without any sneaky shenanigans? How delusional are you? Bro, let's be real. Wake up for a second, let's be fucking real. Numbers have been definitely adjusted.
Stunt they just pulled. In April and May of 2024, Ahri's ban rate went as high as almost 50%, not because she was overpowered or just got buffed, but because of the faker Ahri skin. Sadly,
Yep.
This wouldn't even be the worst defense the company made. On a side note, over the years,
Also, they are back. Yeah, the chests are back, but the numbers have been adjusted. Like they said publicly that, yeah, the drop rates are exactly the same, but I mean, that wouldn't be the first time Rito is lying to us, you know? Government is lying to you. Corporate companies are lying to you. All they care about is the money. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, they just say the magic words. You are happy, they are happy. Everyone is happy. At least that's the idea. When in reality, customers getting bent over and taken to Browntown. Anyway, in love with Nafiri upcoming skin. The April Fool skins. Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to April Fool skins, you can clearly tell that it's the product people who are responsible for those, not the corporate people. Because yeah, last night, someone in the chat said they are making Skibbity toilet ergot. I thought that guy was fucking trolling. So after the stream, I googled that shit. It's fucking real. It's fucking real. Pengu get in the hot dog that he made the League a happier place. I wouldn't go as far as to call League of Legends a happier place. Or anything that they do with the game is making it a bit happier place. I would call it a less miserable place.
players also noticed an increase in the rate at which new skins are being produced. While not a bad thing on its own, there was also a concerning increase in skins that appeared to reuse models, animations, and graphics from previous skins, or releasing an existing skin just with extra adjustments made to it. This technically happened a long time ago with the Prestige skins, but it's become even more prolific.
And people were shitting on us, chat, when we were the first ones to call out bullshit on the Prestige skins for doing that. Remember when we started doing the skin tier lists, and every single Prestige skin went straight to the F? Because we noticed, we saw that everything is reused as just a basic fucking crow before, with a fucking disgusting price tag. The comment sections were a dumpster fires. Like, it was disgusting. How dare you? Are you mad? This is a rage bait. When we objectively knew that dog, the quality of the skin is dog shit, is not worth it. It's just a fucking chroma. They called us mad for doing that. Here we are. Few years down the line. Well. It's like it finally caught up to the audience. We were ahead of the fucking curve.
More skins apparently recycling the same animations or asset base, tons of legendary skins that look like glorified epic ones, and so forth, almost as if they were trying to get us to spend more money without putting any effort into it on their end. On the subject of spending more money, towards the end of 2024 came the Sanctum, a gacha system wherein players could unlock exalted skins, aka the...
Good question, chat. Is this thing still the first thing you see when you open up the client? Like, granted, I'll find out next week when I'll get the league back into my system. But till then, I'm still staying true to my word, 1 month without league. Is this still the first thing you see when you open up the client? Like, are you instantly getting introduced to fucking gacha? Yes. God, thank you. Shifo, not, it's not anymore, is it? Oh. No, now we have an animation which makes the client lag. Well, client lagging is a decade-old story. I would be genuinely afraid, worried, confused, even shocked if the client would work properly. Like, if when you spend lots of time in certain conditions, certain environment, yeah, you don't notice how bad it is. So for example, if you stay in a room that's full of smoke, there people are smoking, right? You will not notice how badly it smells in there. So when you go outside and you get a bit of a fresh air and you come back, you realize, holy shit, this room stinks. But when you're in that room, you don't realize that. So the same thing would happen with League Client. It's so fucking bad that I swear to God, the moment it starts working, it's going to be like a breeze of fresh air walking into that room full of smoke. It's going to be shocking, to say the least. The only time the client isn't lagging is while it's closed, LMAO. I know, right? Plus, not to mention the Vanguard running on kernel level, but I mean, that's a different subject.
Super expensive ones by pulling for them through a standard gacha system. Gacha mechanics have become more popular throughout the past decade as the gacha business model grew in size and exposure, with Vars 2 being primarily focused on Genshin Impact, Wuthering Waves, and Honkai Star Rail, and having played gacha games for 9 years now, I'm all too familiar with the system, for better or worse. It's been frequently denied.
Also, yeah, speaking of gacha systems, chat, I'm going back to the subject of Rita belongs to which region the most, which region is the most popular in Rita. You might say Asia, and you would be right. Now, my second question to tie those together would be, which region is also very popular with gachas? Asia. Coincidence? I think not.
Announced for encouraging problem gambling by enticing players to spend exorbitant amounts of money for the chance to not have to spend exorbitant amounts of money. The hard pity, which for the uninitiated is the amount of pulls required to guarantee the jackpot item, is 80, with each pull costing 400 RP. That would mean the guarantee for an exalted skin would be 32,000 riot points, $250. The Faker Ari skin debacle was not a one-time occurrence.
Nope.
New exalted skins are being released on a frequent basis, meaning you could potentially
the frequency of this is going to increase drastically, by the way.
Spend $250 a month on trying to acquire a single skin. That same The same amount could have bought you literally 20 skins beforehand, which were of comparable animation quality as most of the Exalted ones. So not only were skins getting increasingly more expensive, but they were also getting worse in quality. It didn't help that many of these skins were also limited time, making it so if you didn't pull for them right now, you would never get another chance.
Yeah, the FOMO, the one thing is FOMO, and the thing is that that FOMO was targeted towards the fucking whales. There is a term called 80-20 in marketing, and just in corporate language as well. Basically, 80% of the work of the results come from 20% of the users. So, when it comes down to these skins, why do you think the frequency of $250 skins increased? Because that's the majority, that's the 80% of the fucking retail profit. And it's coming from 20% of the whales. I mean, at least that's the analogy in here. And granted, that's what you do in business. You find out what works, and then you fucking scale that. Then you double down, then you triple down. To be fair, they did stop the new Mordecai skin coming out with this new patch to supposedly work on the quality and promise to increase the quality of the future Exalted skins. Well, I mean, it did came into a outrage of everyone talking badly about that. So granted, as far as I'm concerned, that's also another stunt to damage control.
Classic FOMO. Now, up to this point, most of the skin changes only really affected a small number of players. The majority of League's community consisted of people who spent no money at all, only acquiring skins through Hextech crafting, honor capsules, and the like. While it sucked to miss out on really cool skins, they were ultimately a luxury that most players could do without. But then, a series of changes were made that fundamentally altered the experience of the game for the worse. Starting with the Battle Pass. The Battle Pass was another paid model that made it so players could obtain rewards by playing the game, and even more if you unlocked the premium rewards. People weren't too enthusiastic about this being in the game as it felt like another cash grab, but they were tolerant of it due to the free rewards being incentive enough to keep playing, as it gave free key fragments and chests to open. But then players noticed in 2025 the
Speaking of free rewards, I remember there was a reward for being a good person, a good player, honorable player. Is that still removed? Do honor capsules still got deleted? Are they still deleted? One thing is the quality Rita put in so-called Exalted skins is the line that came out with won't see them ever again. And later, like they did with Gen Echo skin with the same message, they pop up in the just after 2 years with the release, Rita being predatory, just Rita things. Yep, I mean that's fucking classic. That shit started, I want to say in 2014. With those skins. No, that was even before that. It started with 2011 skins. We had Championship Ribbon. I feel like it is a 2011-2012 skin. Because I remember seeing it in Season 3 and that was 2013. And then they made Championship Ribbon a thing again. Then they started doing the same shit with Prestige skins. So we were dogging on the Prestige skins for being low quality and not absolutely not fucking worth their price tag. We got shit on even though we were right. They called us madmen. But we were fucking right. And then the shit went downhill from there. So now they are doing exactly the same thing with the Exalted skins as well, right? Which skins are those? Jin, you said, and Echo. I mean, at this point we should be surprised. It's just another day, another shitty decision by Rita. The only one who's getting fucked by it are the poor fuckers who are falling for that trap. If you belong to the younger demographics, that is a very valuable lesson. You know, it's like getting scammed early on. Doing the wrong shit early on in life, so you fuck around, you find out. The same thing, straight up, could be the fucking scam example. You get scammed early on. Good. Because when you are young, you got scammed out of $10. To you, at that time, when you are young, $10 is fucking a lot. That could be your entire week's savings, for example, right? It hurts like a motherfucker to lose those $10. But that's a valuable lesson. And down the line of 10, 15, 20, 30, fucking 50 years, when you have thousands in your bank account, you're not falling for the same scam. Because those $10 could have been easily those thousands if you didn't fall for that scam early on.
The first battle pass of the new season had no chests, instead, just a pitiful amount of blue essence and a couple key fragments. Shortly after came the news that Hextech chests would no longer be obtainable for free, effectively rendering the Hextech crafting system non-functional unless you bought chests with real money. What was meant to be a fantastic quality of life method for non-spending players to get their hands on skins, a system that improved on the experience of all players, free-to-play skin enthusiasts and whales alike for years, was now completely shut off for the vast majority. Never have I seen such unanimous contempt for Riot Games than I have from this change. Being the dumpster fire that it is, League gets...
Yeah, which was borderline fucking surprising. The outrage was fucking borderline surprising. How unanimous the community was. And being loud. Granted, they didn't do shit, but they were loud. So naturally, Rito had to control that loudness. But still, objectively looking, I would say it was supposed to be the same level of outrage as when they tried removing all chat in 2021, I want to say, like 3-4 years ago. They tested it in Korea. That was massive outrage in there, but nowhere near to the extent of the level we had with the Hextech chest.
It's no shortage of backlash.
They effectively did, yeah, that's the interesting part. That's the fucking interesting part. That's the pattern I'm starting to see again. They did it with the chat. They did it with the pings. They are doing it with Hextech chests. Like, dog. First of all, they take it away. Right? Do you not see a pattern in here? Step 1, remove a thing. Step 2, outrage. Step 3, adjust the thing to the level to which you wanted it in the first place. So that way you appear as the good guy because, oh, look at me, I'm benevolent, I'm generous. I bring back the thing that I took away. But granted, it's been adjusted to the level you wanted in first place. And the first step of removing it totally was just a step for manipulation. What do you mean? That's the same thing. We had this happen to all chat. We had this happen to chat in general. Then the pings. Now the Hextech chests. Do you think the chest will be disabled in the settings too? No. As far as I'm concerned, the chest will remain. But on the back end, we have no fucking idea what's happening on the back end. Because as far as I'm concerned, the game is always rigged in the favor of the house, right? The house always wins. Why? Because house sets the rules. Like, dog, I spent years working in a casino. I know how the things work. We were setting up the numbers. We were setting up the stats. On the back end, you go to a machine. You say, user win percentage. Let's say 40%. Which means 60% you're winning. You're winning. You have the edge. Like, dog, go to a roulette table. You think it's 50-50. Fuck no. It's 49. If it's American roulette, it's even less. It's not 50-50. You're losing. The same thing is happening in fucking Hextech chests because we do not see what's happening in the back end. Because back end is being controlled by Rito, so they can also change the settings. You were getting skin at 50-50%. No, we take it away. Outrage, we bring it back, but it's not 50-50 anymore. Now it's maybe 10%. Maybe now it's 5%. Maybe 0.1%. You know? What do you get? Orange essence. Good luck.
Backlash by the player base whenever Riot makes a toxic meta or releases a broken champion. But the removal of free Hextech crafting was a change so universally hated, players have actively begun to quit the game in
I am familiar with the screen.
droves. As if that wasn't a big enough blow, they also announced that honor capsules and orbs would no longer be given out.
Now this is just a punch below the fucking waist. Like, dog, your entire premise, your entire purpose of not acknowledging where you are fucking up by bringing new players, right? By not setting up a proper tutorial, by not easing out the way for new players to get into this game, right? You focus on the mundane bullshit like toxicity. So sure, granted, remove the chat, remove the pings, it is what it is. Be a nice human being, be a good player, be honorable, be sportsman-like, right? All good. And then if you do all that, you get a reward. Then those fuckers decide to remove that as well. Like, bro, you cannot make this shit up.
Now, yet another way for players to get their hands on more skins, emotes, and whatnot. Even with all that in consideration, and believe me, that's a lot to consider, defendants could still argue that skins were fundamentally luxuries that did not have any bearing on a player's gameplay experience. Sure, you could
Except for pay-to-win skins, but that's besides the point. Also, we had a couple of pay-to-lose skins. I feel like one of them is Omega Squad Vagar, where you can clearly see his W center. That center would deal the most damage, like clear indicators. That's a pay-to-lose skin.
say that you don't need skins to play a champion. While it would be nice to play a character with extra visuals and flair, they are technically non-essential so long as you have the champion. But then Riot decided to make champions extremely difficult to obtain for free as well. Blue Essence was nerfed by a substantial amount. Previously, you could
Oh yeah, which also kind of bothered me, because as far as I'm concerned, one of the previous videos Rita officially said, I feel like shit, it was maybe even a year ago, where they said, well, we are not making money from champion sales. We're making money from skin sales. So, you know, maybe, just maybe. Hear me out, just maybe. Give us the champions. Last time I checked, Rita went down that road and lowballed the price of all champions by 50%, right? Where the maximum was 6,300 blue essence for a new champion that's been released 2 weeks or more, because the initial price is 7,800. That's the inflated price. Then it goes to 6,300. And if I'm not mistaken, then the price is they lowballed the price by 50%. So instead of 6,300, it's going to be 3,150. The day they removed the honor capsules was the day I've started to send random Google Maps coordinates to off bridges to some of my cold teammates. Understandable.
expect to obtain about 4 to 6 new champions per battle pass season. After this change, you can more or less expect to obtain 4 to 6 new champions per year. They basically made it so unlocking the entire champion.
Jin, choo. Yeah, how does that work? Hold on. I thought Jin's whole team was supposed to be 4s. It's generally right now 2,222.
Champion pool by playing the game long enough was no longer practical. You have to buy them now. One change after another, the game became more and more inaccessible.
Also, we have another champion, Vel'Koz. His price was 3.14, and the remaining numbers of the pie number, right? Divided by 2. You get half a pie.
Accessible for free-to-play players. First it was for luxurious skins, then it was for regular skins, and now it was for champions. The funny thing, or sad thing is, I haven't even exhaustively covered everything there is. They took away Prime capsules a while back, which was a nice way for players with Amazon Prime to get free RP and stuff. They also took away your shop, the thing they do every so often to sell skins.
Yeah, I'm still a little bit mad at myself for not noticing this. Because, dog, when we were covering the bingo that straight up was one thing I was sure I'll put into the shop, but I forgot about it.
Skins at varying discounts, which when combined with the stipend you got from Prime capsules, allowed you to buy skins for free as well. They essentially ruined the experience for all players, not just free-to-play, but also paying customers, exactly what enshittification is. When the quality of a platform or service degrades for the everyday user in favor of business customers, aka paying ones, then they degrade the quality to users and business customers to maximize profits. Again, most paying players were fine with dropping maybe 20 to 30 bucks a month on a couple skins here and there, but now that the price inflated to $250 a month, even paying players no longer want to pay, especially when taking into account the knock-on effect of all.
Yeah, but those players who are spending $20 or $30 a month are still not in those 20% who bring 80% of the profit, of the revenue. You know, you're not in that category. You're not that guy. You're not interested. So you can get fucked. That's the experience we're getting in here.
Free stuff being phased out of the game. For as long as I can remember, League always stood as the paragon of free-to-play accessibility. While most other mainstream games were filled with microtransactions, real-world trading, or pay-to-win incentives, League distinguished itself for the full experience being made available to players at no charge. It is what inspired so many companies to view it as a gold standard to emulate, and all this time developers have been trying to implement the same practices Riot has done. To see the game go against everything it once stood for is what makes the enshittification process all the more painful.
And I thought I was the mad one when I pressed the uninstall button. I thought maybe I changed. Apparently not. Apparently I'm still the same degenerate. Still Pepega. It was Rita. It was the game that changed.
On its own, making Exalted skins or the Faker's Ari skin cost a month's groceries would have been tolerable, and I say that generously, if there were ways for players to potentially get them for free or grind for them or whatnot. But not only were they flat out not made obtainable, but they also went and took away everything else, all in the name of maximizing profits. The excuses they come up with that Hextech chests and honor capsules are not sustainable for the company are just that, meaningless excuses.
Exactly. What, I mean, they say it's not sustainable, but then they bring it back. And you think they didn't change the backend? You are the Lulu.
League was thriving and doing perfectly fine during the 8 years the players had free access to this stuff. They made billions every year, all while providing free things, and even from a business perspective, giving free stuff is ironically the best way to make more money. That is why every single big company on earth has free coupons, reward programs, loss leaders, buy one get one free deals, so on and so forth. It's to encourage you to spend more money.
Yeah, because when it comes down to business, what you have to consider is the customer acquisition price. How much does it cost for you to acquire a customer? You can say give them for lifetime customer value. I feel like should sound something like in those lines. So how much will it cost you to acquire one customer, and what's the lifetime value of a customer? Because let's suppose it's going to cost you $1,000 to acquire a lifetime customer, but in return, in that lifetime, that one customer will bring you 10,000. But in here, Rita decided, what if we just lowball the fucking price at which we acquired those new customers, right? And they started removing shit. But what they didn't realize is they are losing the customers. You take away shit, you're not acquiring the customers. Then you're throwing a surprise Pikachu face when you're not getting the customers. Hello?
I don't think the higher-ups at Riot realized the complete lapse in common sense behind their decisions. Customer satisfaction is the #1 priority for any product or service. It's not the price, it's not the wherewithal of the customer, it's whether they like your product and by extension your company or not. If they don't, they won't spend. You could have the best gameplay in the world, but if people don't like the company of the game, they won't spend on it. It's public relations 101. Every single decision they've made has only added more and more chips on the player base's shoulders, more and more of a reason to hate the game more than they already do, more and more of a reason to not spend and support the company. By being so hyperfixated on maximizing revenue, every decision they've made will only result in less revenue for the company long term. They might be able to squeeze out more from higher spending players, but just as a rising tide lifts all boats, a falling tide lowers all boats. The whole community suffers, both free-to-plays and paying ones. It's more than being a loss leader to generate more revenue. These free incentives and rewards are meant to serve as gestures of goodwill to show appreciation to the player.
Why does it feel like Riot is panicking? It's not panic, it's full-on damage control. My theory, my tinfoil theory, is that Rita thought that they can be slightly greedy with the release, with the 15-year anniversary of League of Legends, and the same time release of Arcane Season 2. They thought that maybe Season 2 is going to do the same magic it did in Season 1 and bring bazillion of new customers, right? New users, so they can justify being a bit greedy. They can justify being a little bit aggressive in their corporate level bullshit. What they didn't realize is that maybe, first of all, the underlying fundamental you need to have is a strong product. So, we're entering Season 15. When product was supposed to be strong, right? With the idea that's been ingrained in us in the past 15 years that new season means new shit. New items, new meta, maybe new map, maybe new changes. Something to throw in to change the game, right? But when that didn't happen, and people in Season 14 were already slightly unpleased with the fundamental product that you have, I feel like it didn't go the way Rita intended it to go. That's why they are backpedaling, manipulatively backpedaling, by the way. Remember the shit I said, yeah? First of all, they are totally removing a thing. Step 2, backlash. Step 3, bring back the thing with the adjustments you initially intended to have it, right? There it is, fucking profit. The rest I have to go see you all. Alright, brother, thank you for joining us. Hope we'll see you next time.
players that have turned the game into what it is today. To take all that away and then some betrays that goodwill, leading to a loss of not just financial support but also word of mouth and reputation. People are always pessimistic when it comes to League. Jokes are made all the time about quitting, being inactive, setting yourself free, or telling their friends to never start playing the game. But I think I speak for most of us when I say that League of Legends, the game, is amazing. It's a title you only see once in a generation. What makes it so aggravating?
Overstatement. No, he said once in a generation. Then, no, not an overstatement. If that would be once in a lifetime, then I would say that would be an overstatement. In here, once in a generation, yeah, definitely.
Aggravating is the player base, not the game. If the player base wasn't so insufferable, League would actually just be the most addicting game of all time. But for the first time in my life...
I'm sorry, what did he say?
Once in a generation. What makes it so aggravating is the player base, not the game.
What do you mean player bases? No, the player base are good, chill. We are chill. Brother, we are chill. We have systems in place which are preventing us from being annoying, cancer, toxic, etc., right? But as we found out, I feel like a year ago, hashtag Riot Oberon incident, that even the people who are leading departments in Rito sometimes forget that they have these systems in place. Rest in peace, pings.
If the player base wasn't so insufferable, League would actually just be the most addicting game of all time. But for the first time in my life, I think the game is no longer amazing anymore. Skins may seem like frivolous luxuries to players, but they represent an integral essence of League's experience. Imagine playing Minecraft, but you can only use decorative blocks if you pay for them. It's just not the same without that. And then they went on to make champions inaccessible, blocking off a huge part of what League is about, unlocking and trying new champions.
Speaking of Rito removing partnerships, free shit, etc., etc., effectively paywalling all of that shit, does anyone of you chat know if the Xbox deal is still on the table? Where you pay a monthly subscription to Xbox, you log in to your Xbox account to League of Legends, and you get all of the champions unlocked. I remember that was the deal like a year or two ago. Like, I was straight up tempted to do it. Because you get... If you actively play, you can unlock every single champion, all champions in the span of years. 3 fucking years. Where here, with a monthly subscription, you can get all of the champions instantly. So I'm wondering if that's still on the table.
Enshittification sucks not because a product is bad, but because a product was once good and then became bad.
Yeah. This is exactly the quote from Marvel Universe, from fucking Thanos. Yeah. Who said, as long as there are those who remember what was, what will be cannot be properly, because people still remember. Thus, you need to remove those people who still remember. Is that what Rita is doing? Hold on. Is Rita going full Thanos on the veterans who remember the glory of this game? Is that what's going on? Because when you think about it, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? You remove people who remember the peak of this game, the people who fell in love with this game. You change the game so fucking much that you get rid of the veterans. The veterans, the older players, will definitely raise their concerns and talk about the game state. Talk about the situation with the client, the company, etc. of how badly it's going. Thus, enshittification, right? But, in the long run, if you remove all of those players, all of those veterans, if you silence those voices, you have a lovely, predatory gacha system game on your hands that's focused on maximizing your profits, without the backlash of people complaining and saying, you know, you've changed, you know, you were better, you know, this was good. Is that what's happening in here? Bro, imagine we're witnessing the situation that's happening, right? There will be no new players. Yeah, that's the other subject of no new players. Like, dog, as far as I'm concerned, I installed Marvel Rivals, I want to say 2 weeks ago, give or take, right? The thing has 37 heroes, 37 champions, so to say. I still have no fucking idea how half of them work, but the barrier of entry is rather low. Like, you can get a new player in because the abilities are somewhat easy. Like, Hulk, smash. Right click, Hulk, smash. You got it. That's it. That's the subject. Hulk, no, not Hulk. Hulk is human. Bruce Banner. He doesn't smash. Right click, he shoots. Simple. Now take the same example in League of Legends. You log in. First ability you want to read, you've got Kassante's page. Huawei's EE, EQ, ER abilities. Multiply it by 167, if I'm not mistaken, champions, or 168 heroes, champions we have in League of Legends. Plus, cherry on top, remove a tutorial. Remove the fucking tutorial, because effectively there is no tutorial in this game. 15 years down the line, this game still doesn't have a tutorial. Like, I understand the game itself is complex, and the barrier of entry is fucking steep. So how about do a proper tutorial for new people, for new players, you know? The same way we have a tutorial in chess. Break it down in steps, in the levels. Level 1, characters, heroes, yeah, champions. Level 2, movement. Level 3, shop. Level 4, gold, economy, etc. Level 5, objectives. Level 6, team fights. Level 7, macro. Level 8, jungle monsters. Like, have the fucking chapters. Like, you go into chess.com, you have no fucking idea how to play chess. That's what we have. Step 1, pieces. What do we have? Step 2, checkmate. Step 3, how they move. Step 4, strategy. Step 4, development, etc, etc. Do the same shit, but in League of Legends. You know? If you want to keep getting new players. Because as far as I'm concerned, if I didn't know this game, I knew if I would never play this game, if I had never played any MOBAs, you would tell me, Shifu, try League of Legends, good game. Which would be already a fucking troll. Like, dog, there's a reason you don't recommend this game. Because it's cancer to get into. The game is cancer, right? I know it, you know it, everyone knows it. But suppose that's the situation, I'm still getting it because I'm curious. Remember the saying, curiosity killed the cat. Sure, I'm getting into the game. I am fucking flabbergasted. I have no idea what to do. And at the current state, the tutorial, granted, is still better than we had, because, bro, back in the day we had the tutorial consisting of a couple of few steps. You are in ARAM, you're playing Ashe, you buy Thornmail, you kill a dragon. Good job. But it doesn't cover all of the things you need to cover in the most popular mode, that's Summoner's Rift. Like Wild Rift tutorial. What is the tutorial in Wild Rift? I haven't played it. I will show you. No, I tried it once on my friend's phone. He said he got addicted to Wild Rift and he's playing Wild Rift. So basically I tried it once. I saw that gacha can ult and move in her ultimate, like she's effectively a fucking spinning tornado. Moving tornado, by the way, not just Death Lotus in the place. So I said, you know, take your phone, fuck off. Anyway, true, I would never have started playing it if it's not for my ex because of the missing tutorial. I know, right? Like, bro, you have to brute force your way into the game to actually understand the game. And if you understand the game, your elo is already gold. Before that, it will take some time, you know? It will take some fucking time. Like, dog, how long did it take you to get gold? From fresh account, from starting League of Legends to getting to gold. Because gold is where you orient yourself a little bit in the game. You know some of the matchups. You know you need to destroy the Nexus. You know Dragon good. You know Baron good. You have the basic idea. So how long did it take you from level 1, creating an account, straight up fresh, you haven't played this game ever before, to getting gold? It took me in season 3, no, I finished season 3 in silver. My first season I finished in silver. Then, barely in season 4, I peaked in gold 5. Yeah, by the way, we had 5 regions, 5 placements. Thus, why I am the bronze 5 gatekeeper. Because I remember what was. We had 5. Now we have 4. We had 5. But yeah, it took me years It took me fucking years to get the basic idea of how the game works. So, and that was without Atakan, fucking champions with 200 pages abilities, fucking bullshit, fucking lane swap shenanigans, fucking jungle changes, fucking one patch Lee Sin OP, the second patch Lee Sin bullshit. Then I'm seeing fucking Yorick jungling. Good luck explaining that to a new player. You know? I don't even know what the dragons do. Dragon good, you kill dragon, you good. That's as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. Plus. I had it good when I started brute forcing my way into the game. Because back in the day, you kill dragon, you get gold. That's it. That's why in my mind, kill dragon, dragon good. You were getting gold for killing the dragon. You didn't get no buffs. You didn't get some bullshit. You didn't get some stacking buffs. There was no soul. There was nothing. You kill dragon, you get gold. Simple. Fucking simple. Now, good luck explaining that to someone who has never played a MOBA. You know? Like, granted, you make it all shiny. Well, not as shiny as one could expect this game to be. Granted, you want to attract a younger audience because older audience realizes this game is dog shit and they're moving to other games, or they're growing up and getting real lives. But still, the premise is you need to ease the way in to new players. Introduce tutorial chapters. Brito, think about it, yeah? I didn't know what items did or how to navigate the map until this end of season 3, and I started in 2012. Dog, I've been playing this game for over a decade. I still don't know what items do. Like, I know my items. I see support with their items. I have the fucking idea what are they doing. And I'm following the same philosophy, given how we're matched the same elo. I'm a monkey, which means he's a monkey. Which means I don't know what he's doing, he doesn't know what I'm doing. You know, thus we meet in bronze. Thus we are facing each other. Finally a worthy opponent. Anyway.
If Lee came out with all this
Shifu make a League of Legends tutorial video, want to see you explain. Imagine starting a series where we are doing a proper League of Legends tutorial. Just imagine.
garbage from the get-go, we'd have our expectations at that spot, but we had good stuff, and then they took it away. One thing I appreciated about League is that for as long as I've been making content for it, I've always wanted to make more. I never got bored of talking about the game, even during times when I was bored of playing it. There was just so much to talk.
Oh yeah, as far as I'm concerned, we can talk about League all day. I can talk shit about it all day long, baby, because I remember what was. But to play it, I'm slightly hesitant.
About this game that I feel like I could make videos on it for years and years to come. But in light of all that's been happening, even talking to my other League YouTuber friends like Nikki, Chimes, Dumps and stuff, morale has never been this low for all of us. And it really hurts, especially for us creators, because League is literally our livelihood. It's our career. We invested so much time and passion into this, only for Riot to turn around and treat the game we all love to hate and hate to love into nothing more than a cash cow.
Ironic that he's using a Kazakh's clip in here. Because that's been my standing theory for years now. That's what Rito is doing, that's why the game is still alive. Because the secret sauce is hidden within the Kazakh's quote. Change is good. No matter what kind of change, but change is good. You have tank meta, you change it to assassin meta. You change it to ADC meta. Yeah. You make good game, you make bad game. You make good game, you make bad game. You make good game, you make bad game. You make a curve, you know, you make a roller coaster. That way, the game isn't stale. Granted, when the game is in that state, yeah, and the lower state, it's fucking dog shit. We all hate it. That's why I'm here rambling for over an hour already. On a 16-minute video. Bro, I'm straight up becoming Asmongold. Anyway, the thing is that right now, not just the game is at the very down, but the fucking company itself as well.
All I can say is, I hope that in the 2 weeks it takes to make this video and upload it, it's already outdated because
shit for the fireplace. I don't smell smoke, which is good. Or maybe I'm getting carbon dioxide poisoning. If I will start to get sleepy, and then I will just... You will know what's what.
If they don't, this will spell disaster for the League of Legends brand in the long run. As someone who studied game design and as a business owner myself, none of the decisions they make
Bandox, do I look like fucking Walter White? Bro, I don't know chemistry, I don't know math. I know gaming, that's it.
are justifiable in any way. I don't care who their shareholders are, it's not even business sense at this point. It's common sense. Anyway, what do you guys think about all this?
Dioxide is the other one, so dioxide is the good one. So if I get dioxide, I'm getting happy. No fucking idea. Chemistry is fucking magic to me.
I mean, I already know, but feel free to share in the comments regardless. That's it for today, so if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you left a like and subscribed. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter @VarsVerum, join my Discord server, and if I do decide to continue uploading more content, be sure to stay tuned for that as well. Or you can go watch my older videos if
And then we have League is stagnating.
you haven't yet. But till next time, thanks so much for watching,
I cannot click on
and
it.
I
What is
look
this?
forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.
Oh, that was not clickable. That was not clickable. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, give me the public stats. Rita, show us the public stats. Because right now we cannot answer it. Why no one plays League of Legends? We do not see the stats. Ever since 2021, 2022, they removed the public stats of how many players we have. Granted, majority of those players were from China, so really doesn't matter to the Western audience. It really doesn't matter to us. And the second majority part are the bots. So what's the situation there? Coincidence, majority of the bot farms are located in Asia. So you know it is what it is. Anyway, people are still playing League. If Riot will not fix their shit, people will quit League. People are quitting League. But that's the sentiment that's been happening for years. League has been dying for years. Surprisingly, they were getting new players. No fucking idea how, but I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm hoping that's not the scenario where Rito is removing the veterans, right? Removing those who remember what was and going full fucking predatory gacha. I really hope it's going to be one of those states where it's just we're on the downturn of the game state, the company state, the entire state of the fucking Rito and League of Legends, right? Where it's just bad. But there is a silver lining in here. Without bad, you cannot have good. Without white, you cannot have black. Without evil, there is no good. You know? So if you don't have the bad state of the game, you will not appreciate the good state of the game. So, I'm putting on my tinfoil hat, inhaling ungodly amounts of copium, and hoping that we're just in the bad state of the game. And then it will get better. Like, objectively, I feel like we're at the rock bottom. It cannot get any worse. Damn it. Anyway, with that, I'm out.